Have you guys noticed that there's only one group of people that ever try and make this claim? Because there's only one group of people that are ashamed of who they voted for. Because if you ask someone that voted for Kamala Harris, they're gonna tell you, yes, I voted for her and I'm proud to say it.
I'm just like a 30-year-old baby. What is ice? Isn't it that like stuff you put in your drink to make it look cold? Like, I know I'm a chronically online streamer and my whole job is to talk to online strangers all day, but you guys need to get off the internet and like go outside or something. Go touch the grass.
And if you're not angry at the fucking world right now, you are not paying attention. How can you see innocent people getting murdered in the fucking street? How can you watch videos of 5-year-old children getting taken by ICE, of the vice president calling their parents aliens and saying that they deserved it? How can you look at that and justify it? Please, someone try to justify it to me.
The compulsive need for these chronically online freaks to gaslight, bully, and pressure content creators, especially those that barely, if at all, talk about politics, to speak up about politics and make political opinions, takes, and statements, genuinely needs to be studied. Like, these people are not beating the chronically online, hyper-liberal, performative activism allegations. Like, these allegations will never rest. And if we break it down to which side of the political spectrum do these people lead, well, the doctrine of usual suspects would strongly lead you to see that these people are often on the left. So for this video, I wanted to talk more so about especially when I brought up the second clip talking about the whole Emiru situation. And this is kind of why I'm making this video in the first place. So for more context, Emiru is a Twitch streamer, a cosplayer, and she got into a controversy where someone asked her a question about ICE and the whole immigration situation. And she basically responded by saying that she had no interest in addressing the topic.
There's a certain extent where I'm okay, sure, I get people wanting big content creators to say their opinions on important topics. I get that, right? But it's if you need a streamer who doesn't even know anything about politics to tell you about politics, you probably just need to get off the internet.
Basically, she just essentially just said that she was not interested or did not want to share her political takes. Because she is not a political commentator. She is a cosplayer. She talks about anime, video games, just common non-political things. And she ended up, going viral on social media, and more specifically Twitter and all that stuff, Twitch. People were talking about it, and she ended up getting a lot of harassment from people who wanted to basically bully her into denouncing ICE. And what specifically drove me to talk more so about the whole people online trying to bully content creators into making political stance was a new Shoe on Head video where she addressed the whole situation and she denounced these people who are harassing Emiru for not taking a stance. And this is where I just wanted to kind of chime in and kind of try to infer more to the general concept of you people are not owed allyships from content creators with massive platforms. You're not entitled to having these people use their platform to parrot your talking points, to advocate for the things that you care about. You're not owed that from these people. I don't know why you're so insistent on forcing everybody else to just blindly spew whatever talking points that you want. I just recently released a video talking about Billie Eilish and celebrities talking about it and how clearly inauthentic a lot of them are about their spewing these talking points that you people like. And it's some of you are so just clapping like seals that these particular celebrities are saying it, regardless of whether or not they're actually authentic about it, which I would argue a lot of them are not genuine about it. They're just telling you what you want to hear because you clearly are so desperate for people to just say what you want to say. You don't actually care about the issues that you claim to care about. And the fact that Emiru basically made like a response for trying to like mediate the situation, which honestly, like, she probably should just not have done that. Like, she didn't say anything controversial in the eyes of a sane person. She basically she did denounce ICE to some extent, or just from a reasonable perspective of like making extreme decisions or making inappropriate decisions or being very corruptive or just using excessive violence, reasonable takes that most people, even people who support ICE, would agree on. But that was not enough. That was not enough for these people because they just moved the goalpost and addressed her being affiliated with other people who had different opinions on ICE than they do. Like her affiliation with Asmodee, and that they addressed her like, you're still friends with Asmodee though, and he pushes for opinions that I disagree with, so that must mean you agree with him on his opinions on this. It's like, whoa. Like, these people really legitimately think that if you don't 100% agree with every single little take and little opinion that they have, that you're 100% against them. And this is just blatant cult behavior at this point. And unfortunately, this type of behavior is strongly present with a lot of the online left spaces. And before anyone comes jumping on me like, yeah, there's that on the right side too, but we're not talking about the right wing inside of this type of behavior, but it's far more pronounced and out in the open on the left because it's so just common now. It's so socially acceptable to an extent for these people to just be out there. And it has gone so bad because like Emiru made a small little response to that, and he's trying to pretty much trying to really remediate the situation as best as she can. And honestly, she most likely probably should have just kept quiet because these people are going to just use her words use her words against her, or they're just going to try to find some other reason to label her as a bad person. Because other content creators, popular live streamers, especially political ones like Denim and all these people, Casey Tron, all these people, all have been trying so hard to just talk shit about her and degrade her and try to paint her out to be this racist, chud, Nazi supporter, just using all types of bigotry terms, weaponizing bigotry terms, like degrading the meaning of these terms to just throw it at people that they don't like, just slander people.
F her, and especially f her bestie Asmongold. I hope they get kirked. 30-year-old woman too scared to say f ICE to keep her incel audience happy. Let's hope she gets abused again. Couldn't happen to a better person. Next time this cunt is assaulted, I'm gonna laugh and laugh. F her and f ICE and f you if you support this cunt. Emiru deserved what Miskiff did to her. F Emiru for supporting ICE. I genuinely hope this bitch gets oh, okay. I reported that one. Holy shit. What is wrong with these people?
See, you don't understand. I'm good guy, which makes it okay for me to say f***ed up things about bad guy. You think saying that to someone is f***ed up? Well, you should be abused too, because you're probably also bad guy. It's called being on the right side of history, Chud. Look it up.
And this is what happens. When you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Because that's how they wield power. All in all, based on the things that I've seen from people on social media, it's like these particular individuals who claim to be pro-human rights and super like social justice warrior and all that stuff, a lot of them are just blatantly narcissistic. Like, there's deliberate traits of narcissists because there's actual like research that is demonstrating that a lot of these people, or a lot of narcissistic people, tend to cling onto social and cultural causes and advocacy and activism as a means to fuel their egos and make themselves look like morally superior people. Like, they'll cling on to social justice causes and political movements and like civil rights movements and all these things to try to basically just boost their ego, make themselves look good, and will also just try to antagonize people, dominate people, control. And this is like a very much a trait of covert narcissistic behaviors. Like, that's what I'm seeing is because these people are blatantly demonstrating these clear narcissistic behaviors on social media, and it's very disturbing. But they're not being very smart about it anymore. It's like people are noticing these people's behavior and they're just fed up with it. It is so disgusting to the point where when it comes to Emiru and the whole situation, when she's had like Shoe on Hand was defending her clearly, and there are people online basically wishing harm on her, and not even just the basic like, oh, she's a pick-me, she just cares about male validation, look at her content, she's just appealing to incels and pedophiles and weirdos, and then just try to degrade her because, oh, she's a woman in her late 20s who's making ooh-woo cutesy content trying to appeal, basically degrading her at best. Like those are like the least worst, but the worst ones are people wishing for her to be R-worded, sexually assaulted, physically assaulted again, because earlier last year at TwitchCon, she was physically assaulted by some weirdo, and people are wishing for her to be harmed again in that same way. Basically, yeah, wishing harm on her, like making all these disgusting comments because she's not willing to parrot their talking points and say the line. Right? They want her so desperate to say, it's not that hard to say fuck ICE. Just say fuck ICE. Just say this. Just do that. Tell me what I want to hear. Otherwise, you're my enemy. Basically trying to not only blackmail her or gaslight her into believing that she's a bad person, but also just straight up threatening her. Like, that's how dangerous these types of super narcissistic, like fake pandering, performative online activists are. But I digress. At the end of the day, Emiru, any other content creator that doesn't talk about politics, and hell, even content creators that do talk about politics, are not required to talk about their politics on their platform. They don't have to talk about politics on their platform. They don't have to talk about politics on their platform every single time they make content. They don't have to say the things that you agree with. They don't have to talk about certain political issues that you want them to talk about. They have the right to use their platform how they see fit, as long as they follow basic terms of service and the law and the Constitution. You are not owed anything from these people. Get a fucking grip and stop being so politically entitled to support. And it's so funny because a lot of these people don't actually have any real world impacts or any real world activism to back up the things that they claim on the internet. Many of these people are not lobbyists. They don't work or own or build any type of nonprofit organizations to fight for a cause. They're not out there making donations. They're not out there working and supporting the people in their local communities. They're not raising funds for charity. They're not missionaries. They're not philanthropists. They're not out there actually building lobbies or becoming lobbyists and working with political officials or government officials, state officials. Many of these people are not actively participating in real world activism. They're just spewing talking points on the internet and trying to build up an image and sustain their egos. Oh, and I should also mention, at best, they're just marching out and doing basic protests. Like protests that are sometimes even paid by certain political campaign officials to just march in the streets and yell and chant. But that's really about it. Like, there's no actual changes that substantiate or go alongside these protests. It's just hollow protests. whether or not they actually have narcissistic traits or not. A lot of these people are not helpful beyond just bringing awareness, basic level awareness, and just spewing talking points online. The literal bare minimum of activism of any kind. Yeah, I support human rights. Okay, what are you going to do? What are you doing to support it? Like, these people don't have the actions that support their words. They're just all talk. They're all talk, no bites. No bite. And it's straight up pathetic. If you would like to make a donation, please check out the QR code or the link in the video description for my PayPal account. Thank you very much.